What's up, everybody? It's DIlla926 here. I'm back after like a 2-week hiatus. I've just been kind of sitting back, watching this team play for the past 2 weeks, just trying to absorb all the information to try to figure out what direction this team is heading in. 2 weeks ago we got our first win, or a little under 2 weeks ago, we got our first win against the Washington Redskins, against the struggling Redskins team, struggling team much like ourselves. But we kept them in the game for the most part throughout the whole entire game. The defense made a couple plays here and there, but playing against a guy like Kyle Allen, I mean, that's a team that we should have no trouble beating. But we made it tough on ourselves, but in the end, the Giants got the win, and that's all that matters. I know a lot of people weren't happy about the win, as far as it goes when it comes to like drafting Trevor Lawrence down the road. Oh well, it is what it is. You know how I feel about that situation. I've let you know in previous videos in the past. So, but yeah, the Giants came out, got the win, did enough to get the win, didn't play well throughout the whole entire game. Offense sputtered, Devontae Freeman ran the ball pretty hard. He played pretty well in that one. But yeah, offensively, they just really couldn't get much going, but they did enough to get the win, and the defense stepped up here and there and did their part to help us get a win in that one too. But we almost gave the game away. And thank God Ron Rivera went for the 2-point conversion at the end of the game, or, who knows? We might be sitting here without a victory right now. So, on to the Philadelphia Eagles game this past Thursday. Man, that was a tough one to lose, but I'm not surprised. It's the Philadelphia Eagles. Much like, the rest of you shouldn't be surprised by how that game turned out. After having an 11-point lead with 5 minutes left in the game. Boston Scott came out, killed us again. I swear, we are the only team that Boston Scott ever does anything against. If you look at his entire career and the games that he has played in, his most effective games have been against us. And it's just, it's completely insane. It is mind-boggling to me that we cannot stop this little-ass Boston Scott every single time we go up against them. It's something that's one of the things that this team does well, is it stops the run, or at least it has done that in the past. And every time we go up against this little scat back like Boston Scott, he's just a thorn in our side every single time. And Carson Wentz is out there playing with a banged up offensive line. He's probably got the most banged up offensive line in football. A line that just continues to struggle to protect him. And you saw that the other night. I mean, the Giants were getting after him, and we're not a team that, we get pressure on the quarterback, but we're not a team that's going to get a lot of sacks, and that's something that killed us the other night. We can't get to the quarterback and get a sack when we need it, or we can't get an interception when we need it. And when we were up by 11 with 5 minutes left to go in that game, the defense couldn't make a play. The defense couldn't make a play because, once again, we don't have any pass rushers that can get to the quarterback to put pressure on the quarterback to make them throw an errant throw down the field for somebody in our secondary to pick it off and make a play for us. We just don't have anything like that. We don't have anything like that can consistently get to the quarterback, play in and play out, and make something happen for us. And it killed us. It killed us in the long run in that game. It absolutely did. On top of the fact that Evan Ingram dropped the ball down the left sideline and Daniel Jones put right in his hands. As far as that goes, I'm not surprised by that. Evan Ingram's got the most inconsistent hands by any tight end in the NFL. Nobody should be surprised that Evan Ingram dropped that ball. I told everybody at the beginning of the season we should have traded him for what we could have got, anything that we could have got before the draft. And we continued to roster this guy, and he killed us in that game. He's the main reason why we lost the game. Everybody's already said it. It's not that hard to figure out. If he catches that ball, we run the clock down. Most likely Graham Gano kicks a field goal and puts that game out of reach for the Philadelphia Eagles, and they have no chance of coming back unless an absolute miracle took place, which against the Philadelphia Eagles, it could have happened even if we kicked the field goal, the Eagles probably still could have pulled that game off. That's just been our luck against the Eagles in the past. All y'all know about that. But yeah, Daniel Jones played. That was his best game of the season. It was honestly the best game of the season he has played. He had the one pick that went off the hands of Ingram. No surprise. Evan Ingram dropped the ball. It's deflected into the secondary, and they pick it off. You know, I mean, he continues to hurt this team, game in and game out. Even when he's off the field, he hurts us. When he's on the field, he hurts us. I mean, it doesn't matter. And when you have a player like that hurts you when he's off the field and hurts you when he's on the field, there's no reason for him to no longer be on the roster. Why is he even here? Why? I don't know. I don't have any answer for that. I don't have any answer to that. But yeah, I mean, Jones played well. Jones played well. Honestly, in that game, I thought the offense, that was one of the better looking games that this offense has played. And honestly, I'm kind of encouraged by what I saw, because there were times in that game where you saw that Daniel Jones had a clean pocket. It wasn't every single play, but there were times where he was given a chance to actually stand in that pocket and keep his feet underneath him, and he wasn't, drifting backwards, making throws off his back foot. And you saw he was out there completing passes, and he was doing what he needed to get done because he had time to throw the ball. Now, I understand, it's not going to be like that every single play. But, I mean, you got to give him the opportunity every once in a while to make throws like that in a clean pocket. And it seemed like, the offensive line was doing that for the most part the other night. And Daniel Jones was not sticking on one read the other night. You could see he was going through his progression. He would go to one guy, and a lot of the times he would throw to that second guy in his progression. He did it a few times. He did it on the Golden Tate throw down the field. Honestly, I almost think he audibled out of that play when he threw the ball down the right side of the field to Golden Tate, and Golden Tate scored on that touchdown. It looked like he audibled out of that play. I mean, I could be wrong, but he definitely called something out on the line. It may have just been protection. But I thought Jones played really well on top of the rushing yards that he had. Of course, he fell flat on his face on the 80-yard run that he had. I couldn't believe that, man. I was in complete shock. I was in complete shock, just like everybody else. I mean, he got like 80 yards down the field, or he got like 70 yards down the field, and I'm sitting there in bed. My wife's sitting next to me, and I see him kind of start to tumble a little bit, like his feet just kind of got caught in the ground. And I saw that first split second when he did it. And my hands just started going up towards my head like this. I was like, don't you fall. Don't you fall. Don't you fall. And as soon as he started to tumble, I was just like this. I was like this for like 20 seconds straight, just staring at the TV. I didn't even say anything. Didn't even say anything, just stared at it. My wife, she's sitting there cracking up at me. She's like, you guys are terrible. I was like, yeah, I know we're terrible. You don't have to tell me. There's nothing I don't know. Shit. I was like, man, I don't know. But if they wouldn't have scored on that drive, I would have been unbelievably pissed. Thank God they put it in the end zone after he couldn't get it done with his legs after running 80 yards. I would have been pissed. But I would have really started having some doubts about Daniel Jones after that one. I mean, much like a lot of other Giants fans have their doubts about Daniel Jones. But after that play, if we wouldn't have punched it into the end zone after that one, yeah, I'd have been a little pissed off at Daniel Jones. I would not have been happy with that, man. But, yeah, I mean, I thought he played a really good game. I thought he played an excellent game. Regardless of the turnover at the end with like 29 seconds left, I mean, we had no timeouts. We were on, our 25, if that. I mean, even if the man completes a ball, 20 yards down the field, they still have to spike it. I mean, how much time are they really going to have left? What are they going to have, like 10 seconds left? I mean, if people are knocking him for the fumble at the end of the game, I mean, it's completely ridiculous. I mean, the Giants were not going to pull that game out. It wasn't going to happen. There's no reason to give Daniel Jones crap because of that fumble. I mean, yes, it's another fumble, but, I mean, honestly, were they going to pull that game out in the end if they completed a pass down the field? No, most likely not, because there just wasn't enough time on the clock. And, the offense shouldn't have been in that situation to begin with, because Evan Ingram just screwed the team completely when he dropped that ball down the left sideline. There's nothing more to say about it. There's nothing else you can say about it. Evan Ingram just extinguished his very last opportunity that he had with his team. And honestly, they need to move in a different direction. There's no reason to continue to commit any more time to Evan Ingram on the football field. There's really not. Because you need somebody out there that can actually catch the ball and move the chains on this team. And he's not a guy that's going to do it. He has the least he probably has the worst hands of any tight end in the National Football League, hands down. He has a lot of talent. He has a lot of talent, and that's great. But his hands, he's got hands of stone. He can't catch anything, man. He can't. He'll catch a pass here. Well, he caught the two on the final drive that were like thrown out in the flat for about 5 yards, and he went out of bounds. I was like, of course you catch those two easy passes, but you can't catch the one that hits you right in the hands about 20 or 25 yards down the field. You know, you completely screw us over on that one, but you can catch two balls out in the flat when it really doesn't even matter. I was like, thanks, Evan Ingram. I really appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, I thought the team played a lot better Thursday night. I saw some encouraging things, and I know I'm just kind of rambling here right now, but I saw some encouraging things, and I know a lot of people are kind of like, you know, I'm done with the Giants. You know, I can't stand watching this team. I mean, that's the way I felt when I watched the Rams game. I thought that game was so damn boring to watch. And it just, I couldn't believe I actually even wasted my time watching it, because every time the offense came on the field, I was like, you know, this team's not going to do anything, so it really doesn't matter. I mean, I don't even know why I'm wasting my time. There's other things I could be doing, you know, around the house or outside of the house, and I'm sitting here watching this team go 4 and out every single drive. But what they did against the Eagles, and how they seemed like they opened up the playbook in that game, and how Daniel Jones had some ability to sit back in that pocket and make some throws, I was pretty encouraged by what I saw. On top of the way, you know, Wayne Gallman ran in that game, he ran pretty effectively. And, you know, Wayne Gallman has always been a hard runner. He's always been a tough guy to bring down. And honestly, if he gets somewhat of an offensive line in front of him that can actually open holes, I mean, maybe Wayne Gallman becomes an effective back for this offense. Now, Devontae Freeman got hurt in that game. I'm not sure the extent of that injury right now. But, you know, Gallman, we may actually see what Gallman can actually become if he gets an offensive line that can actually block for him and create some holes for him to spring through and make some plays. But I mean, we'll see what happens with that in the future, as far as how they divide the carries up between Devontae Freeman and Wayne Gallman, depending on Freeman's health, of course. But yeah, but I wanted to say this, you know, before I ended the video and everything. A lot of people are giving up on the Giants, you know, as far as like the fan base goes. I'm not giving up on them. You know, I still think they have, I know this sounds crazy, but as bad as the NFC East is, I still believe they have a chance at this division. Now, I know our schedule is about to get extremely tough down the line here, but, you know, the Eagles are banged up. The Eagles are so banged up on that line. I mean, Carson Wentz is going to struggle to get things going for that team. If his offensive line is going to be banged up like this the rest of the season, and, you know, defensively they're not the strongest unit. You know, I said that at the beginning of the year. I never really believed that defense was very good to begin with. But, you know, Philly's got their work cut out for them, and Dallas has their work cut out for them. You know, Dallas is struggling as well. Dallas has offensive line issues. Philly has offensive line issues. Philly has nobody to throw the ball to outside of Fulgham. And but Dallas Goedert's getting ready to come back, I think, maybe next week or the week after that. And Alshon Jeffrey may eventually come back in the next 2 weeks. Who knows? I know Jalen Reagor's about to come back for them also. Deshaun Jackson got hurt the other night. So, I mean, Philly's going to get some of their weapons back. And, you know, Miles Sanders will probably be back in the next, like, 2 to 3 weeks. And they're going to start getting some of their weapons back. But that offensive line is such a mess, and that defense is going to continue to struggle, that, you know, this division is not a given to the Philadelphia Eagles, and it is not a given to the Dallas Cowboys. Neither one of those teams have this division locked up right now. We just have to come out and figure out a way to win some ball games and get ourselves back in this race. We're only 2 games out. You know, we play in a horrible division with two horrible teams. You know, the Redskins, they're not really going to amount to much. But we play Philly again in what, like 2 or 3 weeks? Something like that? I think it's like 2 weeks. So we get a chance to get them back in 2 weeks and get a win against them and maybe gain some ground in the race for the division. But we'll see what happens. But don't give up on this team. I'm telling you, I thought I saw progress in this team the other day, and I think they're kind of starting to head in the right direction. It was good to get Shep back. I know I've been critical of Shep, but he did open up some things down the field for us to help that offense kind of get going the other night. And I don't know. I think they're heading in the right direction after watching them. I didn't necessarily think that after the Redskins game, but after the Philly game, I did like what I see. Well, I did like what I saw in that one. I did. So don't give up on this team just yet. I think it's going to be interesting going down the stretch. I know we've got a tough stretch coming up here soon where we have to play Cincinnati, Seattle, and then Arizona 3 straight games in a row. And I said in my schedule preview before the season started that I knew that was going to be a very tough, 3-game stretch because, by the time we played Cincinnati was going to start to get it together as far as like Joe Burrow, getting comfortable with that team and making and getting comfortable with his wide receivers that he has, in AJ Green, Tyler Boyd, and T. Higgins. And I figured by the time we played Cincinnati, they were going to be a tough team. And that defense with Cincinnati they've actually stepped up this year. They're playing halfway decent. They're not the old Cincinnati Bengals defense. They're definitely playing better. And then Seattle, you know what they're all about. And Arizona, they're another team that's playing pretty well. And it's just going to be a tough 3-game stretch. 3 quarterbacks that can get it done on the ground. Yes, Joe Burrow's not the fastest quarterback in the world, but Joe Burrow can get out of that pocket and run when he wants to. So, I mean, I said in my preview video before the season started that was going to be a stretch that probably killed our chances to get to the playoffs. But obviously, at this point, we're not in any contention right now to actually go to the playoffs. So when it comes to like a wild card berth or anything like that, we're just going to have to win the division straight out. So, I mean, we'll see what happens with that. But I mean, don't give up on this team just yet. I mean, I think they're starting to show signs of life. Hopefully Xavier McKinney gets back here soon. But, I mean, that's still in question, and nobody really knows what's going on with him. But we could definitely use him. I wish we had a pass rusher on this team. I've been keeping track of what, even if JPP's been gone for, the past 3 seasons, I'm still pissed off that he was just given away like he was. JPP's got 5.5 sacks out there for Tampa, just playing great right now. I mean, he's just looking like the JPP of old. I swear I wish he was still on this team. I miss that dude so damn much. But yeah, I mean, he would be great to have on this team right now. I mean, if we could just have somebody that could get to the quarterback consistently, or just a guy besides Leonard Williams that the quarterback had to be aware of, that could just put fear in a quarterback's eyes every time he dropped back to pass. I mean, I think it would make the secondary just 10 times better because, if you have a pass rush, your secondary really doesn't have to do very much. They just have to cover for a few seconds, and 9 times out of 10, that front 4 is going to get to the quarterback, and they're going to make something happen. And that causes things to happen in your secondary as well. I mean, we saw that in the past with, other defenses that we've had with great defensive ends. But, yeah, I mean, that's basically all I wanted to touch on in the video. The things that I wanted to go over the past 2 weeks. But, yeah, like I said, don't give up on this team. Don't give up on this team. Continue to watch them, root for them. Don't say that you're done with the Giants, man. I think we're still in this, and like I said, I like what I saw out of this team the other day. Defensively, they fell apart in the secondary. Because, like I said, we're just not getting to the quarterback. When you're not getting to the quarterback, it makes the secondary's job 10 times harder than what it is. I mean, everybody knows that. But, yeah, that's it for the video. I made this one early this morning. It's like 4 o'clock, 4:30 around here right now. But, yeah, I woke up. And I was like, well, I ain't got nothing else to do. Nobody's up, so I'm going to come down here and make a video for you guys. So, that's it for the video. You guys take it easy. Have a good morning. And I'll see you in the next one. Maybe I'll make a video tonight, who knows. But, yeah, that's it for right now. You guys take it easy, have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye. Thank you for your time. See ya.